we're on item 9, Ms. Lisa Coleman, Finance Officer, Financial Dashboard.
Good evening.
Good evening.
As I discussed with you last meeting, that we were going to cut a significant amount in our sales tax. We did get the June allocation, and it was a little over $200,000 short, so it was on track of where we thought it might be. However, good news was the schools were held harmless, and so were the towns, so it just affected the county. And it does not show in this dashboard, so don't think it's in here right now. But I will go over the dashboard.
Why is that good news? We get cut and they don't.
They were excited. They were happy.
Everybody
Good news for them.
Yeah, cut us 200.
A little over $200,000. The revenues through the end of May were at 77.95%. The expenditures were 78.8%. The revenues in solid waste were at 89.6%. Expenditures were at 93.35%. Merchant telecom was 52.99%. Expenditures were 54.04%. And for the water district, revenues were at 92.97% and expenditures 72.08%. Anybody have any questions about that?
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Item 10 is fiscal year 2019-220 budget. Mr. Martin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just as a follow-up to our special meeting last Tuesday, we, at that meeting, reviewed any changes since the proposed budget had been presented to you in May. And I do want to say the only thing that would need to be considered at this point as far as by the board, and this is an item under the county manager items, is to, you will recall that the JCPC board awarded money for the teen court program rather than it going through extension as it has in the past to the district attorney's office. We had a meeting with a call from Quentin, the assistant district attorney, and Lisa and I met with him Friday afternoon, and he is requesting, or the DA's office, John David, is requesting that the position be a county position, and it will just report to the DA's office. They can't fill they can't fill a position in their office, is what they've indicated to us. So that's the only change that,
So, Mr. Martin, the money's the same?
the money's the exact same, yes, sir.
We can, whatever we do on the budget, that, we can still vote on that.
Right. It doesn't change the total dollar amount,
dollars.
that's right.
Okay.
I have one comment. So, on this document that you gave us, this includes the change from the 2 personnel at DSS for security. And it also showed where that $60,000 was moved out of the recreation over to the general fund. Where'd you put it?
It does, there's money in, you remember that was part of, that was done at the same meeting when we talked about the 2% COLA and that type thing. It slightly increased the contingency amount, which is on page, I think it's on page 11 of 12. So the total contingency figure now is $116,058.
I only have page 9.
You only have page 9?
Is, oh, the doc.
Oh.
Not under another one.
You see?
Oh, no.
Okay.
This is one, page 11.
I don't have it.
Not another one.
Oh, it's another?
Page 11. Page 11.
Was that $60,000, wasn't it presently in contingency?
No, sir, it was in Parks and Recreation.
We had moved it to Parks and
In
Recreation.
this year, in this current year's budget, when the budget was adopted in June of last year,
We moved
it was
to-
already in the Parks and
Cause that's
Recreation
when
budget.
we took that out from
The
the
previous
sheriff.
year, last year it was in the contingency.
Yeah, but you took it out from the parks, the part out for the sheriff, when you took that money.
Yes, sir.
Took it out, and then you left the difference of it in.
You're correct. In
Back
Parks
in
and
Parks and
Recreation.
Recreation.
Yes, sir, that's correct.
So now you put it back in contingency fund.
The bulk of it is, yes, sir. But, and this change had already been made at that meeting when we met last Tuesday, because that had been addressed on that
On that
Friday,
Friday.
on the 7th, yes.
So you had moved it then.
Yes. And it already had, the reason the DSS positions are not showing up as something different is because that was already in the information when we came to you Tuesday as well. So the only change right now, and Lisa, if I'm not correct on that, the only change right now is related to the JCPC, and it's just it's not changing total dollar figures, rather than just making an appropriation to the DA's office, it's funding a position and the associated benefits and that type of thing.
Mr. Chairman,
Cool.
I've got a comment on the statement that Mr. Britt, Commissioner Britt had made earlier. How does that impact this?
That would, depending on where you chose to appropriate the money from that he spoke to, it would either reduce the contingency amount, or you could increase the fund balance appropriation figure, or however the board chooses to do that. It's still an additional $100,000, regardless of where you choose to appropriate it, or how you choose to fund it.
Mr. Good.
Motion to approve the budget as presented.
Motion on the floor to approve the budget as presented. Second by Mr. Dallas. Any discussion?
Yes, when do, so now we have to make another motion after this
No.
to change it? So we'll approve this one, okay?
I said, I'd like to make a substitute motion
Okay?
that we move $100,000 out of contingency to address the needs that Mr. Britt asked not to go to fund balance, just move $100,000 out of contingency to deal with Kelly Dyke, recreational needs, and the lights at the park.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman. I know when you talk about the Kelly Dyke, there may be enough money in that fund today to do what's got to be done there temporarily.
Miss, there's a couple things three things I want to talk about, three things Mr. Britt mentioned. He probably ain't gonna like what I gotta say, but he can rebut or whatever he wants to. I've been following that docket like a lot of other commissioners since day one. The guy, as far as we know, says he will temporarily fix it for $30,000. There's $35,000 in the budget. So until something changes, there's no need to put no money there. I got the floor, you have it in a minute. So I don't know how you can decide how much money you're gonna put in Kelly Dyke when supposedly we got enough money already to do it. So I don't know how you decide that. You can wait,
I'm waiting for.
And then the second thing is, the lights at Blainburg should be the responsibility of the town of Blainburg. The town of Blainburg got, if I ain't badly mistaken, I was told this last week, they got a $250,000 Cardiff grant to put lights on that park. So, unless I'm totally been told wrong, that they got the money to do what they need to be doing. And on the East Arcadia thing, I'm sorry, but me personally, I'm not gonna support any lump sum tax dollars going to any community. I know in 2014, there was $10,000 given East Arcadia for basketball courts, balls, and fix that kind of stuff, and today it's totally destroyed.
Okay.
I'm through.
Now, that's the first thing. The county is not giving the citizens of East Arcadia or Kelly or Bladenburg. These citizens pay their taxes every year. So they're paying, it's their money. As Mr. Britt said, it's their money. That's number one. Number two, I understand that we have volunteers that are going to fix supposedly Kelly Dyke, but if we do not appropriate that money now and we need more, it'll be too late. It is hurricane season. And if we wait, the citizens of Kelly are suffering. I mean, it's okay if your house is not over there. Like you said, we're losing our citizens of Blaine County. We're at least, 2,000 citizens of Blaine County? We're less
Since 2010.
since 2010. And we're gonna lose more if those citizens from Kelly don't return, because they're displaced. And we need to support them. And I told them that, yes, I thought something was coming tonight. We need to support them as much as we can. And we're talking about a one-time allotment for money to support them.
Mr. Britt?
Let me go back on a couple things that I said there. When it comes to the Kelly Dyke, I think if the people sitting out here and the commissioners, my recommendation was to match up to the amount that they have saved in the event they don't have enough to fix, up to the amount. If they can fix it for what they get, God bless all of us. But if they don't, my recommendation was to match up to what they have done themselves. And as far as the lights at Bladenboro, I'm not aware of, and there again, I talked to Mr. Pate this afternoon. If the money is there, then I totally agree with Mr. Peterson, and they should do it. I look at that ball field is on 211, and I've had numerous calls in reference to it and concern for people that would like to use it. I'm appalled if they haven't taken the initiative, if they have the money to do that. And I think we need to clarify that, if they actually got the grant and have the money. I'm for one, Mr. Peters, I don't wanna give that money away if we don't have to give it away. But I'm saying if it's not there, my recommendation for the people is to do it. And if they don't have the money, then I feel like that we should do it, whether they're citizens of Bladenboro. I don't even look at the ball field in Bladenboro, I see it on 211 bypass. But it doesn't matter to me where the ball field's at, it's about supplying the services that the youth need, and for some of us to push to get it done. If they've got the money and they haven't done it, then yes, don't spend our money when they've got grant money to do it. So I would change that to that, and but preference also what I said about the dike, that if they find that it takes more, match up to what the people have done. And as far as East Arcadia, I stand there again with them doing what, because I look at it as their money. But this has been talked about for 2 years. It's caused an awful lot of dissension. And if we can create and fix and take care of this matter and show goodwill, then to me, I can live with it. I'm done. I feel like it's
Mr. Cardell?
I made the motion to take it out of contingency fund. When we originally did this, back 2 years ago, we let $140,000 sit in the contingency fund. It just sit there for a year. Wasn't touched, didn't get moved. Then we came back last year, and we finally got ready to move the money. It was down to $90-some thousand. Greg walked in and said, I need some money to pay for some sheriff retirement stuff. He said, well, we said, okay, how much left? He said, 60-some thousand. We said, well, let's put that in Parks and Rec, maybe that'll go, but originally we were looking at over $100,000 to try and put Parks and Rec. Now we right back at the same figure we was at 2 years ago, $116,000. And my thing is, it's sitting here. It's taxpayers' money. People need to utilize it. Are we gonna let it sit and continue for another 2 years and then figure out what you're gonna do with it? If they need it, let them have it. If they can't spend the money and don't have it, then it's a contingency fund. We can put it right here, there's a quickly we put it in the budget, we can put it back. If it's not used, you just reoccur the money, put it back where it belongs, and give it to who needs the money. There's no need of sitting here looking at it when people need it. That's the only thing, it's a contingency fund. It ain't like we got delegated to do anything with it. It's just sitting here.
Anyone else?
Yeah, I just want to say, yeah, and your comment about the basketball court, it's been fixed and they use it. Not to the original state, but it's used.
But, you know, you vote higher, you whatever you can live with. But I think it's premature to put a dollar value on that dike. I think it's premature to put a dollar value on those lights at Bladenboro.
Cool.
And I think it's premature for East Arcadia thing, because if no one wants to help these people more than I do, the Kelly Dyke. And if they come up there and the $30,000 can't fix it, the money would be in fund balance. You could always go get your money out of fund balance. Same thing for East Arcadia. No matter where the money's at, 5 board members can move that money from anywhere they want to on this budget. But it's not like I'm trying to take away from the Kelly community or East Arcadia or recreation athletics in Bladenboro. That is not the intent of my comments. my comments are facts, and I stand by them.
There's a motion on the floor, that's for.
Mr. Brett?
I got one other thing to say, and my recommendation was, Mr. Martin, was out of the fund balance, one-time funds.
That's not,
That was-
Caldwell's motion though.
Well, that was.
Well, I just said, took it out of contingency.
Okay.
He said it was
Any
coming
more
back.
questions, any more comments?
All I need to know, what motion is on the floor?
The floor is to take $100,000 out of contingency in, Kelly, Blamer, and East Arcadia.
Okay.
Is that right?
So make sure that, Mr. Martin, you saying it doesn't make any difference which pool the money comes from, it's gonna be $100,000.
You said contingency.
Okay, hold on, that's a good,
Make
I'm
sure
glad
you
that,
check
I'm glad that
that.
point's
Be clear
being made
now.
clear. Let me say this. I don't know how what the intent is, if it's to create line items in the governing board budget for those three items, I would think that might be as straightforward as anything. So it's up to the board members to, it's a net 100 either way, or 95 or whatever it is. You can appropriate it from fund balance, as I indicated,
Mr. Martin,
which
the
leaves
motion
the.
was for contingency.
Okay, I
I've been
understand.
changing his
I
motion.
can amend my motion, I wanna know, make
I
sure we
just
get
didn't
where
want
it
your
needs to come
motion
from.
No, I understand. I just want to be sure we're all on the same page. And then we're clear on how to appropriate the money. So that's, just to be sure we're clear. That appropriates it from fund balance, which in turn keeps the 116 in contingency. If you choose to bring it from contingency, it's still spending $100,000 more dollars,
Well,
but it only leaves you the 16 in contingency.
Mr. Britt made the pleasure of making a suggestion, he asked it for fund balance, I amend my motion that it comes out of fund
And
balance.
I'll second that.
Okay, any more discussion?
One more discussion.
How much, we need more detail?
Also, I would like to preface, Mr. Martin and Mr. Chairman and members of the board, I preface this, that again, I emphasize not giving our money away if Bladeboro has the money. Then my question to Bladeboro, as a commissioner representing the people that also live in the city limits of Bladeboro and the county, which is all the same, then why hasn't it been done if they've got the money, if someone is saying for doing it? And, so that would be the understanding. If they've got the money and haven't done it, then that money is not to be given.
Well, Mr. Cardell made the motion to give those three things the money, and that's, unless he gonna amend his motion again,
I say out of
the
fund balance.
$100,000 goes to those three items.
Mr. Chairman.
I amend
To,
the
to
motion.
line items in the board's budget, and then at whatever time you're ready
Right.
to do something, the money will be
Right.
there.
That's what I was
I just got one simple question. Mr. Martin, what do you preference that we take the money from?
It doesn't
What-
Yes, it doesn't matter. It's
No,
up
it
to-
doesn't matter. Just, but he asked for fund balance, so he
Okay.
wanted to appropriate, and I amended the motion to reflect fund balance.
All right.
But, and what I was trying to say was, until you know for how much money you need to Kelly, or how much Blamer needs, or how much East Arcadia needs, the money's there, and 5 bucks can get it any time. So that's the reason I said we don't know who needs money, who don't need money. But all in favor, say aye, raise your right hand. All opposed, 6-2.
And Mr. Chair, let me one comment, you keep saying that, you can always vote on, but you vote and have it moved out. So you're saying,
You can move
it
it,
don't make sense.
you can move it anytime you want
I
to
know,
move
you're
it.
back and forth.
Mr. Martin,
He
money
gonna-
can
he
be
gonna-
moved at any time they want, as long as you got 5 votes.
He gonna line item, you gonna line item what we
We
appropriated
outlined
for,
this.
it's gonna
In
be
the
line
governing
item.
board's budget.
Okay, where are we at?
It's gonna be line item, right?
Correct.
Where are we?
Yeah.
I don't know where we move, you move what you move.
Item what, number 11?
Okay, so item I, adult care home advisor board 1.
It's Janet Miller.
Reappointment Janet Miller. Second,
Second.
any discussion? Mr. Gooden and Dr. O'Keefe, going, no discussion, all in favor say aye. Hammond's Fire District 3,
Reappoint.
Second.
motion by Mr. Cogdell, second by Dr. O'Keefe, going, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Airport board,
Ms. Ashley Powers and Reynolds has.
is there a second? Second from Mr. Good, Dallas, any discussion?
Yeah, I just have a question. We don't have a list tonight. I don't have a list.
It was in there.
I didn't get it.
You want mine?
It's for the ones that you said back then. All of them? We got all of it? I don't remember seeing all of them.
It's been on there
That's
2
fine.
weeks.
I
You
saw
want
some
mine?
of them.
You want mine?
No, go ahead.
Okay.
I wanna make sure mine.
Health and Human Service, 1,
That's where you gotta have the nurse, right?
we need to table that, if it's okay,
I'll
because
motion to table.
Okay,
Yeah.
second.
that needs stuff in the hospital. Motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Dr. O'Phil, ongoing. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
E,
Motion to table.
motion table, Mr. Gooden, second by
So moved.
Mr. Dallas. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. That local emergency planning committee, we need to table that too, because
Make a motion to
there's a lot of
table.
people got.
Second
on
motion.
that.
Okay.
Mr. Cogdell, second by Mr. Bullock. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Lumber River Workforce Development Board. Table.
Well, table.
Motion table, Mr. Dallas, second by Dr. O'Phil, ongoing. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the planning and board and zoning board, every commissioner has one. I mean, the ones that's up, there's a commissioner assigned to them. So you wanna put
Al James.
Al Daniels for Ms. O'Phil Goins, Dr. O'Phil Goins. You got that, Mr. Lorraine?
Mine's already clear.
No.
Yours on there too?
Yeah, I think
One's out there.
Yeah, he's on there.
Mr. Bullock, yours is on there, it's Dan
Yes,
Ward.
Miss Angela Hines.
Ms. Angela Hines for, Mr. Bullock. Mr. Cogdell, you got Corey Lyons.
Yeah, just reappoint, this,
Okay, he wants to reappoint Corey Lyons. Mr. Britt got Evan Britt, reappoint. Mr. Good and Don White,
Reappoint.
reappoint. That's it.
Okay.
Got to get a motion to do all those.
I make a motion that we accept those recommendations.
All right, motion by Mr. Bullock, second by Mr. Good. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
got to, yeah.
Recreation Committee,
Motion to reappoint.
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 I got, I would like to, place Kyle Bostic on there in place of Boris White. Like to, place Mark Weston there in place of Gene McCoy, and Julie Sasser in place of Walter Hyde.
Kenneth Gaines there.
okay.
Who will you replace with what, John?
Face some law.
Julie Sasser.
Stephen.
What about Richie Priest?
Reappoint.
All right, motion by Mr. Good and second by who? Mr. Dallas, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, you get it, Ms. Marie? Tobermore Fire District. Who's Tobermore area? Russell.
Let's take that.
Motion table, Mr. Cogdell, second by
Second.
Dr. O'Phil going. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. All opposed? County Manager,
Mr. Chairman,
sir.
on these boards like this, can we get some kind of information as to the attendance of the ones that are already on there?
Sure.
Because if we reappoint, we can reappoint people.
We try to have that, and some boards are better than others on recurring,
Yeah, because
if they have
sometimes
staff people.
we can reappoint people that don't even attend.
Yeah, the fire district sometimes has a challenge.
Okay.
Mr. Martin, calendar update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to briefly review the calendar with you. Point out that tomorrow, the Elizabethtown White Lake Area Chamber Annual Dinner will take place at Lou Mill at 6:30 p.m. The Diabetes Forums continue at Baldwin Branch Missionary Baptist Church on Wednesdays at 5:30. The Sunset Jams Concert Series will be held at Goldston's Beach at White Lake Thursday the 20th from 6 until 9. There's a special meeting scheduled at this point for next Monday at 6:30 p.m. related to the budget, so that needs to be I guess that needs to be formally removed.
Okay.
Okay.
The MCAB meeting is scheduled for next Tuesday, the 25th at 7 p.m. That will be at the White Lake Town Hall. And on Thursday, the 27th, from 3 until 6, there's a Safe Kids Day event at the Blaine County Park. Moving over to July, there's a prayer service on Monday the 1st at 8 a.m. here. On Tuesday at 8:30, the Ministerial Association meets at the hospital. The diabetes forums continue. Thursday, the 4th, offices are closed in observance of the Independence Day holiday. The Health and Human Services Advisory Committee meets on Monday, the 8th at 5:30 p.m. There's an opioid task force meeting on Tuesday, the 9th at 2 p.m. On Thursday, the 11th, from 6 until 9, the Summer Sounds Concert Series begins at the Cape Fear Farmers Market. The NACO Annual Conference will be held in Las Vegas on the 12th through the 15th. The Sunset Jam Series continues on the 18th at White Lake. There is a board meeting scheduled for Monday the 22nd at 6:30. Summer Concert Series on the 25th at the Farmers Market. And again, the Diabetes Forums continue on Wednesday.
Any questions?
Yeah, do I need a motion to remove the 24th, you said I need to meet on the 24th of June?
The budget
We don't-
meeting.
we put a whole
Budget.
placeholder.
Special budget meeting.
We just got a placeholder.
They didn't approve the budget yet.
Oh, we did.
No.
We got it.
So we'll do it the 24th.
Good.
Do it the 24th, meeting stays. It's good, everything gonna be cool. Next, Mr. Martin.
What did we just do?
She will keep it 24.
I know that. Can you ask any clarification though? I want to know what you want.
Motion, we just moved some money.
I thought we had adopt the budget ordinance.
No, we didn't.
I did a substitute motion, and you voted on just a substitute motion, you voted on another motion, not to approve the other motion. How can you skip one and not do the other? You have to vote the other one.
Okay, all in favor of approving the budget, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Budget passes.
You cancel, remove this budget,
You cancel.
remove that, meeting. Motion to remove.
Okay. Mr. Martin, consider restoring team court.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. That was, as I just mentioned earlier, to reestablish a position that will be housed in the district attorney's office rather than just making a straight appropriation to the.
Pleasure of the board.
So moved.
Motion by Mr. Cogdell, second by Trustee Mills. Being discussion. All in favor, say aye.
I got a question. Is that person, in position now?
No.
So it's a new person, a new
Yes.
position?
Yes, ma'am.
Can I ask, how much money do we have for JCP, for the program itself, like, teen court and all the other stuff? Because before I had concerns when I got on the board, that a lot of money is going with personnel, but nothing for the students who need the access to teen court and other things.
The budget for teen court, if I'm not mistaken, is $47,750.
Okay, and the other, program JCP?
There's 4 or 5 slots on there. You know, some people that you want to put on there can change the course of the way it's going.
Okay, I'll do that.
It's coming up next month.
Got it.
JCP.
Thank you, Greg.
Got it. Thank you.
Well, we do have the tax.
Yeah.
There have been several bids to purchase county property. Each of these amounts that have been bid equal the amount, the cost of the county. The first one is in the White Lake Township, and the expense to the county is $7,140. And that's the same amount as the bid. And it's, so this, it's requested that the board approve this so we can begin the upset bid process.
You can't do all at one time?
Yeah, but anybody, okay, motion to approve, what letters was it?
C.
CD, motion by Mr. Gooden, second by
I second.
Mr. Cogdell, to approve all 3, accept all 3 offers for county property, put it back in upset bid. Any discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed? Item 13, Ms. Marie? Okay, I
Mr.
entertain.
Chairman, I got one question for Mr. Martin.
Yes, sir.
Have you received any kind of confirmation regarding the manager's schedule?
We received an email that we need to follow up with.
I got that, I'm sorry, I'll give it to you.
Okay,
That's my fault.
I just got it.
I just got it, I ain't had time to,
okay.
My question about the, beavers.
it's in the budget.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I didn't see, okay.
We doing,
I entertain a motion to go into closed session in accordance with NCGS 143-318-11A6 personnel. Motion by Mr. Gooden, motion by Mr. Dallas, second by Mr. Gooden. Any discussion? Okay, let's go into closed session.